Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindo Mbarak and I welcome you to our other episode of learning how to make Flutter mobile applications. In our today's lecture or today's video, we're going to proceed from where we stopped at in the previous video, whereby we were able to do what? We were able to display the news on their respective single pages. So right now we're going to see how we can accomplish or finalize the mobile application, because we have not really finalized it. For example, we want let me say that, okay, let me show you some challenge. Let me just show you some challenge. I'm going to uninstall the app. I think it is here. We called it what? We called it Learn Flutter. I think it's this one. Let me uninstall it and then you see the challenge that we're going to have. So come here to app information and uninstall it. Okay, let's say it is the first time for someone to install the app. So we did not work on the logic of optimizing how should the data be connected, when should we go to the server to fetch the data, when should we use the offline data, when should we clear the offline data. All those things, did not look at them. For us to just fetch the online data once and then put it in the application and then stopped. But what if now they want a real world application, okay, where data has to be fetched from online automatically and then get displayed. So to do that, you come to application here. So if I open the news app, remember this is just a fresh news. I've just opened it, okay. So can you see what it means? There is no data that is there. Of course, you know the reason why. The reason why there is no data is because we have not worked on the logic of fetching the data automatically. Okay, so let's see. But we have the logic of fetching the data itself. So let us see now how we can do it. How we can write that logic of fetching the data and also deleting the data that has stayed offline. Okay, so how shall we do that? We're going to simply come here to our application. To our model. This model, you see, even if we refresh, it is trying to get the offline data, but doesn't do. All right, so we're going to come to our model, our news model, this one here, news model. So in this news model, I'm going to put another class, okay, another method that will now be responsible for fetching the data and also fetching the offline in case there is no data. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to approach it. So I'm going to create another. So this was get local items. Its purpose was to get the local what? The local items. This was to get online item. Its purpose was to get the data that from what? From internet. So let's go ahead and create now the one that will be just optimizing both of them, so that when we call it, it checks if there's data. If there's data offline, it gives you what is offline. And then call the internet data from background. If there is no data from offline, if there is no data from if there is no data from offline, it first go ahead and fetch the online one and wait, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to just create that function. I've just duplicated this title only, and I'm going to call it maybe get items. Okay, so we now have three functions. One is called get local items. This one will do nothing but getting the data from what? From the local database. Okay, you've seen how you saw how we did it. Then this one is get online database. This one will just simply get the online data and save it to the local database. That's what it will do. So now we're going to create one more method that is going to make sure both of these ones are balanced. Okay, so how we're going to do it? So this, I've just called it get items. It can take same parameters like the way how the other ones are taking. So in this get item method, my logic is, whoever can come up with a better logic, but for me my logic is, I'm going to first get the offline data. Get the offline data. If there is offline data, I send that data back, so that the user should not have that waiting thing. I send that data back, and then when I send that data to the what? To the user. So, and I also process the offline data in the background. So how shall we do that? So in case there's no data, I'll have, for example, I have to wait for the background data to first finish, then I send the data. So when someone will be calling get items, what I'm going to be doing, I'll just simply say list dot what? Dot news model, and I'll call it items. Okay, so this one, its task is going to get this local data. So it's going to be get local items. I pass the what? I pass the where to be where. Is it? Okay, put here await because it's going to be asynchronous. Alright, I think that's okay. So where that comes here, it's the one that I pass as well to the other side. So can you see this? So when someone calls get for me items, I first get the offline data. So after getting the offline data, now there is a scenario when there is no data that is offline, just like the way you see it right now. We have just deleted data. There is no data. I've just learned there is no data. So what do I do there? What I do here, if there is no data in offline version, I'm going to request the data from the online version and wait. Okay, then after getting the data from online version and wait for that function to finish, then I again try to get the data from what? From the local version. Okay, so I'll just simply come and say if the local database is empty, then I'll say okay, you get for us some online data. So I'll just come and say get online data, but I have to wait. Otherwise, if I don't wait, it will just do it in background and it will skip it. So I just simply come wait. So I'll wait for it to do what? To get some online data. Then after waiting to get online data, I again try. I say items equals to await. I again try to do what? To get the offline data. Get local data. And I again pass the where if in case they are provided. So can you see what that one means? It means that if there is no offline data, it will wait for the what? For the online data to load. Okay? But okay, then after it has loaded, again it will try to check offline. So after doing this, I'll go ahead and do what? And then return the data that has just been fetched. So by doing this, it means that the application will intelligently fetch the data online in case it doesn't find the data online. So I hope you've understood that. So another thing is now, what if there is data online? I mean offline. Let's say that yesterday you loaded the app, it loaded maybe some 40 articles to your local database. So now it means that this function will not be executed. Then how shall we know the news that were posted today? Okay, so we need to know it, but we don't want to wait for it if we still have some data offline. So what shall we do? So we'll just simply come here and say else. So if it is not empty, when it is not empty, just get the online database. Okay, but just note here one important thing. Okay, one important thing here, I am waiting because I don't have the data. But as long as I have some data, I'll skip and then I get this offline database, get online database. You see, in the else part, I get the online database. So because I have some data, I'll not even again try to fetch again from the database. I'll just simply return the items. So by doing like this, it means that you will not be able to do what? You will not be waiting. So this, if you don't put await, what does it mean? It means that it's going to be done in what? In background. So this will give us, someone should mute their microphone. This will give us an achievement of getting the data in background if we have some data to display, or wait for the data that is online in case you don't have something to do what? To display. Okay, I hope you're relating. So this will not be waited, it will just be skipped, but it will be called in case the data is there, and then start working in background and then return whatever you have got in what? In the database. So I hope you have understood that. So after, I think that's it. That's how you can make the best of this kind of things. So now I'm just going to go to main screen and then call these items instead of calling this one only. So I'll just simply get items. So here, where there is what where there is home, where is home is here. So instead of init and then we say get local items, I'm just going to say init get items. So we've seen how it will do it. It will get the local item first. If it doesn't find it wait for the online version to first load that local item and again try again to get it. If it finds some data, it will skip this part and execute this part, whereby it is not going to wait this time, but it's going to call it so it can start working in the background for the next data to be displayed, and then it will just go ahead and do it and display. So let me show you something. For example, let me first comment this. All right, let me comment this. Okay, so I've just commented the get items. So I save. Let me put here a boolean called loading. Okay, boolean called loading equals to what? Equals to false. All right, so when the loading will be starting here, I'll be setting it to true. Set state and make loading equal to true, so it can start loading. And then after loading, so when the loading ends, I'll come and make this loading to what? To false, and I also set state, so it's no longer loading. So that's how you implement loading. So I will come here to where there is, for example, word loading, or I can even come to the body itself where there is the body. I put if is loading, I put maybe center, and let's say maybe child, and then put what it calls circular progress indicator. All right, okay, so that's it. So I'll come here and put the artillery. So it means that when it is loading, it will have some circular indicator in the middle here. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to call it. Okay, let's make it opposite. So that it will be like that when it is loading. Okay, so when it will be loading, it will be showing that middle thing, but because it's very fast, I don't have data. That's why it's too fast. So let's go ahead and now fetch the items. So I'll just simply come here and comment the news. Okay, so now let's go ahead and refresh. You see, so this is the first time when someone is opening the application for the first time. It's going to do what? To load. So when I release, you see it is loading. Right now it is fetching data from internet, and then it finishes, it displays. So this data has been cached to the local version. Right now, if I try to refresh, you see it just loads from the local database. But the thing is, it loads from the local database. It does not wait for the other version that is online. But the thing is, the online is working in the background. Okay, because we called it, but we did not just wait for it. So that is how you can optimize your logic of having the offline capability. So right now, even if I disconnect it from internet, I'll be able still to get I'll be able to see to read the news that I cached previously. So I hope you understand that. Okay, I hope you understand that. So it means that even if someone uninstall our application for the first time, when they open again, when they open the application for the first time, we'll be able to do it to get their respective data. All right, so that's how we do it. So now the thing is, like the data that is offline is going to become too much. For example, someone has spent 1 month without, let's say that someone has spent like 1 year with your application. So you keep on piling his up, and you're not deleting these things that he's not reading. So what do you do there? So there are different ways of how you can address that problem on your own. But for me, what I do, I just keep the limit of the certain items and I make sure that I always update those ones every time someone refreshes, like the one I've shown you here. But the thing is, instead of updating them, I want to be deleting those ones that are off. As long as I have got, for example, new 100 items from internet, I will be deleting the ones that are off, because they might not be relevant. An item might have changed, an item might be deleted, and they're also wasting space. You cannot just keep on pushing something in the offline database, yet you're not caring of the customer's phone, okay, or the client's phone. It will start becoming slow, and that will be led by your by application. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put here, so I'll come here to get online items. So I'm going to put here the logic that if there is internet connection, I should just delete the what? I should just delete all the local database, so that it should just keep knowing that there's a new data that is coming, and it's what that will be saving in its database. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to simply, once I know that there's a new data that has come and then the internet connection is connected, I'll clear the database. Okay, so there are different packages that can help you to know whether internet is on or not. I'll show them to you. Okay, but here, before I start saving, I'll first clear whatever is offline, because right now I've got something new, or I've got the new data. So let me first clear what is offline. So you can write okay, we can just simply also as well say db okay, let's write a special method for deleting all items. Okay, just like we have saving here, I can duplicate this saving and I make it for deleting items. So here I start the DB, so I can say maybe delete all. Okay, so this is the function that you'll be working on, the deleting. So here I start the DB, I make sure the table is initialized, and then this place of executing the SQL, I'm just simply going to remove it and say db.delete. We pass the table, which is main, sorry, so it's called what? Table name. Okay, so by doing like this, if you don't provide a where, I repeat, if you don't provide a where, it means that everything is going to do what? It's going to be deleted. Then I put a semicolon here, something like this. So it means that now here, before I start saving new data, I'll be first cleaning what is there. Okay, so I can be able to do what? You can have enough space to do that for the customer side. So it's going to be public static, so it have to be accessed through what? Through the class itself. Okay, like this, and let's say that. Sorry, the deleter. Okay, let me make it static. I think that's okay now. All right, so it means that I'll be deleting all items before I start saving new ones. If the internet is there, that's when you do that. Otherwise, if you don't have internet, then it means that you'll end up deleting things, yet people are still in need of them. But here for me, I'm just deleting just in case everything is okay. Even here I've changed the status that is okay, so I know that data is either there has been the offline data, one of it has either been deleted or not, something like that, and then I go ahead and delete. So this is the function of deleting all. Okay, so that's how I'll keep my client's database or my customers database clean and not wasting their spaces. All right, so if I come here and refresh, so in background it will delete and then save new things. You see, I hope you understand. So you see, I come and just refresh. So by doing like this, it will be able to do what? To remove all the background redundant data, redundant information, and then update it with what? With the new information. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then your client's phone will keep on expanding and expanding until it does what? Until it blows out. Okay, so always make sure that you first clean the offline database. However, there are so many ways of how you can improve or how you can correct me or how you can advise and implement these kind of things better than me. But for me, that's how I could do it. I could be able to come up with. All right, so yeah, deleting depending on the age of the data, that is also okay. You can say maybe the data is 3 months ago. I shouldn't be seeing it, or I shouldn't be on the phone. It's all about you, how you want your rules to be like. Me, I've just given you the raw knowledge, so it will be you how to be creative and see how you can use this knowledge to do what? To build some amazing stuff. Okay? So yeah, that's it. Now let's go ahead and do what, and then put here maybe a share button. Okay, because that's what I wanted to show you. But let us finish this session. Then the next session will begin now, the user improvement. So I'm going to give you a challenge. I want you to come here. To this single screen, and then add actions. Like this, and then after, maybe you can add icon. Let's say icons dot what? Dot share. Like this. See, give it some color of white, white. Give it some size of 30. So now a little bit big, and then give here maybe some size what? Some size what? Width of maybe 15, so it shouldn't catch there. All right, yeah. So that is our news article. So I want to give you a challenge. Try your brain also, how you can share this data. I want to, when I click here, it should launch things like WhatsApp or other things that you can use to share. Like just like the way how the sharing always be. Like if you're on Instagram and you click on share, they'll show the pop-up, and then you'll be able to do what? To share with other applications. So I want you to learn that by your own. This share is here. Called just Flutter share package. All right, so it is here. There are many, so it is this one. This is very popular. So go ahead and install, and then do it yourself, and then you'll tell me, or you'll show me the result that you were able to do it, because it's not good to give you everything, even though that you can do. Okay, so go ahead and please add this share and implement the logic that if someone clicks on this share, you should share. You should be able to launch the share, and someone to be able to do what? To share using your application. So that is the challenge that I give you. Then lastly, I want you to implement what we call connectivity. So I want you to be checking if the internet is connected first before you make a HTTP request. Okay, let me show you what I'm trying to say. Alright, what I'm trying to say. If we come here to our utils, okay, let's come here, for example, to the item. So come here to HTTP. Okay, let's go to utils. All right, so there is this called what? HTTP gate. Did we put it here? I think we put the other side in the news model. This one here. Okay, so what if you are offline? How will the application know? Of course, the application will not know. We should first try to load from internet, so it will tell you later. So I want you, before the application loads, okay, here where there's HTTP gate here in this function, I want you on top here to implement and first check if there is a connection or not. There is also a package for connectivity. Okay, just simply search Flutter okay, so Flutter connection check. Okay, so so you have this what you call connectivity plus. So go ahead and try that. It will tell you if the phone has connection or not. It will do the logic, making sure Wi-Fi is open, this person has some data on the internet, all that stuff. So if it doesn't have, it will tell you this person does not have internet connection. If it has, it will go ahead and launch, and proceed with what HTTP. So what I want you to do, I want you to implement this HTTP connection check. I want you to implement it here. So before I make a request, the phone should either tell me that, hey, you're offline, or you should not allow the request to proceed if I want you to do it here. If there's no connection, because if there's no connection and then you start loading and showing the person that data is going to come, then yet maybe they are not on the data, then it will be what? It will be problematic. All right, that's what I want you to do. So that's the end of our news application. However, you can think much more better than me. You can think of different ideas and implement these things that we have done, that we have discussed today. Okay, so once you implement them, then there will be like you have learned something that no one will ever take it from you. All right, so that's it. That's our news application, and we're going to now start the UI series. You're going to have a break of 10 minutes, and then you come while you are fresh and start the last session. And in the last session, you're going to now start how to learn how to make professional user interfaces. So let's have a short rest, and then we come back for the very last session. However, members, I emphasize that you should give these things your best. Give things your best, because they are really, really marketable. You should trust me. Even right now, I'm looking for the developers of Flutter, but there is no Flutter developers. There is a job, Dr. Drake has a job for a Flutter developer or a mobile app developer, but there is no what? There is no job. So guys, give them your best. Hopefully you never You'll never regret. Okay, let's go ahead and rest for only 10 minutes. Then 10 past, it will be at exactly 50. We should all be back at exactly 50 or 10 minutes to 4. We should be back and do our last 40-minute session. So let's be back after 10 minutes, and then we do our session. In that session, we're going to cover a lot of important things that I believe that will be useful to you.